The councilman is on vacation, and he texted me to say he's watching YouTube and there's no audio. That there's no audio.
Who's on vacation?
Councilman Perez, he's away.
Thank God.
Yeah, good, he's not, quiero que 2 o 3 semanas. So,
He extended.
no, listen, so he's texting, you can't.
To the audience, please excuse us. Our meetings do begin at 6:30, but we need to have quorum, and we're missing quite a few council members, so we can't begin the meeting till we have at least 5. So just bear with us for a little bit, okay? Thank you.
You know what we could be doing? Look over the agenda. See, you know, porque voy a seguir por ahí. We're gonna do this quick, all right? Second, I'm moving, like 5 and 6 are gonna go to second reading, okay? First reading ordinances, 7, we're gonna have a discussion, because the director's here, all right? So this one is definitely, but then 8, 9, 10, 11. We're gonna move forward, okay, for first reading. This one is 4-4, right? 6-4, 6-4, and
Not working?
Councilman, come over. Are you getting everything? Just hold on a minute. Move the second section. We're gonna move all of these, right? But 7,
The
we're working out with Alex. We need to do all the, empieza a move ahora, vamos a hablar
no
ahora.
the 7 the 7.
Okay, this one, we just discussed this right now. This is being taken off.
Got it. I just had a Marshall.
Okay, consent. 14
14 consent and resolution.
presentation. Which Jackson? Which Jackson? Are you sure? Because he didn't contact me, so I can't say anything.
Councilman Jackson has a presentation.
Yo que tiene una presentación con... No me hablamos ni nada de eso.
No.
Oh, but let's keep going.
Yeah.
So 18 to 1 consent.
18 to 20 in consent.
We'll go to railroad. 20 to 1 consent. Porque no va a cumplir.
Consent.
21 to 1 consent.
Madam President, Councilwoman Cotton is here. So we have 5.
Great, awesome. Council members, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. May. Perfect. My arm just hurting me all of a sudden.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, council members, administration. We are now calling the meeting to order. Madam Clerk?
Yes, Madam President.
Welcome back once again. It's very nice to see you after a few weeks. Hope all is well with the family,
you.
and we're just happy you're back.
Thank you. Roll call for Municipal Council Workshop Session of September 7th, 2021 at 6:30 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz, Councilwoman Khan,
Here.
Councilman Jackson, Councilman Kalik,
Present.
Councilman Mendez,
Good evening, Paterson. Good evening, Madam Clerk. Present.
Councilman Mims, Councilman Rivera,
Here.
Councilman Velez. Madam President.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
I can go on. Can I go on to the statement of compliance?
Can you please read the statement of
Sure.
compliance?
Sure, I will. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Law 2021 to 2022. Meeting date September 7th, 2021. Time 6:30 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting was compiled and disseminated in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law in the following manner. 1. The annual notice of regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council was compiled for the year 2021 to 2022 on or about July 1, 2021. 2. A schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021-2022 was duly transmitted on or about July 1, 2021 to the North Jersey Herald News, the Record, the Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Quisqueira International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and Tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. 3. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was prominently posted in the lobby of City Hall, first floor, in the place reserved for the announcements of this type. 4. The schedule of the regular meetings and workshop sessions of the Municipal Council for the year 2021 to 2022 was duly filed with the municipal clerk. 5. A copy of the schedule of regular meetings of the Municipal Council was mailed to any person who requested and it paid the fee authorized by the Open Public Records Act. Madam President.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Before I take a motion for payment of bills, Councilman Velez has asked me to say hello to him. He's taking notes while he's on vacation. He's watching YouTube, and he wanted me to excuse him from today's meeting as he will be out for the next few days. So Councilman Velez, enjoy. At this time, I will take a motion for payment of bills.
Payment of bills.
Mr. Chair. Councilman Rivera.
Excuse me?
Payment of bills.
At this time, I'd like to take a motion for payment of bills.
I'm trying to get my computer started here.
Okay.
But I believe I have a hard copy from the Finance Committee,
We have,
so I'll do the motion with that for the meantime.
okay.
So payment of bills for September 7, 2021. We have total payments of $21,413,565.79, of which $9,471,980.42 are for payroll. You have a payment of $2 million of the parking authority and a payment of $5,086,223 for the Board of Education.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Madam Clerk, moved by Councilman Rivera, second by Councilman Kalik. Roll call on payment of bills.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call payment of bills, the amount of $21,413,565.79. Councilwoman Khan? Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilwoman Khan?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson, we're,
Abstain.
Abstain. Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 5 in favor, 1 abstain, 3 absent. Payment of bills in the amount of $21,413,565.79 is hereby adopted.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
At this time, I'm going to move forward with the agenda. The second reading ordinances will move, Madam Clerk, to second reading, unless
Okay.
anyone has any questions. I think, we discussed this in our finance meetings and first reading. So, Madam Clerk, 5 and 6 will move for second reading.
Okay. 5 and 6.
8, 9, 10, and 11 will move for first reading. And 7, we have our director here. If you can briefly,
So 8, 9, and
Director Ramirez?
10.
Yes, 8, 9, 10, and 11 will move forward. Is the DPW director here,
9, 10, and 11.
Madam BA?
No, I don't see him here tonight. Is the deputy director here? No.
Director, item number 7? Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening, Honorable Council. Item number 7 is the ordinance leasing a portion of Christopher Hope Community Center, 60 Temple Street. It's just our lease agreement with the Housing Authority. As you know, our Youth Services Bureau is housed out of there, so I have quite a number of staff members. The rent has not been paid in a while, and it's important because we've already received informal notice from the Deputy Director of the Housing Authority that they are looking to pursue eviction and cutting off our PSE&G from the building, our portion. So it's quite important.
Definitely quite important, but wow.
Council President,
Councilman Jackson.
it's amazing how I would love to see that. I think we should allow it to play its course, and let's see how we'll get evicted from our own, from property that we own by a third-party vendor that's making millions of dollars, that's failing to render the proper support to the residents that's there. The ground maintenance is absolutely horrendous. I think, Council President, this deserves an opportunity to play its course. This would be unprecedented.
Director, I know that this has been an ongoing conversation, and there's been other council members besides Jackson who's been on this from day one. Could there be another place that we own? Because I still don't understand how we own a building per se, and we have to pay rent. So we don't own Christopher Hope?
No, we don't.
Okay,
The Housing Authority does.
the Housing Authority does.
And as you know, they're an independent agency with their own board.
Madam President?
Director, is there a place within this city?
I've already started looking for a Plan B, so I will present that to the Health and Human Services Committee.
Okay.
If that's what's going to play out, but
Okay.
I'm already working on a Plan B, so I wouldn't worry too much.
All right,
Madam
so,
President?
council members, Mr. Chair.
Just
Finance
curious,
Chair.
how much do we owe?
I believe it was 63,000, Javier?
Yes, about 65,000.
63,000.
And how far are we? How many months behind?
Since January 2020.
2 years.
65,000, all right.
Council members, do you want to proceed with this, or would you like to remove this item and let it take
I
its
say we
course?
proceed.
Huh?
Councilman Mendez.
No,
Councilman-
The floor, thank you, Madam President. I think that we should remove this item and have a more extensive conversation with this partnership with the Housing Authority, because it's hard for me to understand how an entity that managing and running a lot of the property that actually are owned by the city, I think that there have to be a conversation with the Housing Authority and the city and this governing body and try to establish a more effective shared services agreement. It can be, they're not as two separate entity and they cannot treat us like the way they're treating us. And let me just put this for the record. There's been so many concern about the Housing Authority. And just today, I spent 2 or 3 hours to try to get in contact with that entity, and nobody answered the phone. And through the chair to Madam BA, this is something that I want you to please to handle this situation, because I have so many constituents calling, and I call, and my secretary spent hours trying to get in contact with the Housing Authority, and nobody answered the call. They are an independent agency that doing whatever they want. I'm facing the same problem in the Third Ward and on Heritage Place. They have that facility, and the community cannot utilize that facility. Our children that live on Heritage Place, they cannot use that facility. How that sounds?
They're supposed to.
I mean, it's just, and they've rented that facility to a third party, to a private entity. There's have to be a conversation with the Housing Authority about all those facilities that they own. Where they have a state-of-the-art facility on Heritage Place, and our children cannot utilize it. They have to play outside in the street.
Council President?
Thank you.
Councilwoman Cotton, then Councilman Jackson. Council members, I am considering removing this item, just to let you know, but I'll
Well,
give you the floor.
you can do that as council president, you can remove it. But I just want to say, Director Joel, you just got here. This has been an ongoing for years, you know. As you can see, it's 2 years. It is housing our Youth Service Bureau, which is supposed to help our children. We're trying to keep the ones that are, be on the streets and try to keep them so that they don't get in trouble. You know, that's the whole purpose. This has been 2 years. To me, it should have been a conversation. It should have been a long time. We've been talking about this ever since, 2 years. It's been 2 years.
Councilwoman,
But I'm just saying, we have a chair here who's the Director of Chair of Public Health and Human Services. The conversation should have had started with that. And I hear them saying that they cannot use certain centers. You know, I mean, I know other community members that have used the facilities. You know, bring all that to the table. You know, okay, why we can't use this? Why we can't use that? And then we get an answer. Our chair, who is not here right now, the conversation should have been started a long time. But I know one thing, that we are trying to save children and their house down here. We're trying to save children and their house down here in the Hope Center. Youth services for the young people, so we can keep some of our children of not getting in trouble. They're gonna pull it. That's up to them.
so with that said, Councilwoman,
President.
thank you.
That's it. I'm saying my piece. I don't have
Councilwoman,
nothing else to say.
I am getting ready with what you just said. Councilman Jackson, I'm going to allow you to speak. Give me a second. Director,
Yes.
so she's speaking upon the program, one of the programs that are there. How many, are they children? Are they young adults?
They're young adults.
Young
Most of them are
adults.
court-ordered to participate in a program
Okay.
such as this.
How many are currently?
About a
Yeah.
dozen currently.
Currently, a dozen. Okay, and so you mean to tell me that there's certain places that they cannot, certain buildings that they can't be in? I didn't understand.
Well, what happened is, when you have children that are court appointed and they're mandatory to go to a facility or to a place, you know, you just can't put them in public schools, or you gotta have a facility for them.
She's
You
correct.
can't just put them in regular population, because now they're trying to get them back on the right track. So you can't put a kid who got in trouble with a
Okay.
kid who's, that's what this court tells us that.
Okay, Councilwoman, thank you very much. Councilman Jackson?
Yes, thank you, Council President. I'll be brief. First and foremost, for a point of clarity, let me say this to the public. The Housing Authority is not a separate autonomous body. They have an autonomous board. They function autonomously, but they're an entity that's owned by the city of Paterson that was given the authority over city-owned property. They do not own this property. This property is owned by the city of Paterson. If it was owned by the Housing Authority, they would not have to come before us to enter into shared services arrangements with third-party companies. So please, let's not mislead the public in saying that they're an autonomous agency. They're not. They did not purchase this property. Some properties were purchased by agencies such as the Parking Authority, but these properties are city-owned properties. They're being managed. They've been given the authority to the Housing Authority, and the Housing Authority has turned over that authority to third-party agencies such as Penrose and whomever else. So with that being said, I find it very strange that a person that does not have ownership, that is operating on a long-term lease arrangement, would have the audacity to evict the owner. So,
Okay.
Council President, I'm urging that you remove this item.
Okay.
And we've been talking about having these discussions for quite some time. It has not been initiated. It is a long overdue discussion, and this council has the authority to dissolve the Housing Authority if needs so.
Yes, we do.
So, just to put that out there, we need to stop pandering and giving up or not allowing people to push our community over. Councilman Mendez is absolutely correct. These facilities should be they're in place for the public's use.
Okay.
When my parents grew up in the projects, in Alabama projects, and Christopher Columbus projects, that facility was open to the public, to the residents, all residents that live there. Now they have this thing that was under lock and key. These are our children. They're our responsibility. Therefore, they should not have to pay rent in facilities that we own. We have done this. We have done our children a terrible disservice by allowing this to take place this far.
Okay, thank you very much, Councilman Jackson. I'm gonna allow you for a minute, Councilman Rivera, but Madam BA, I saw you shaking your head, so if you can please clarify, to us exactly who is responsible and who owns. Because from what I'm hearing from Jackson, and I somewhat agree, right, it's an authority, right, that we've given, they're I believe a statutory agency, right, they're an authority, but I need to understand as well, so if you can please address some of the concerns that Councilman Jackson stated.
Council President.
No, I
Yeah, but when you're doing, and again, you're running the meeting, but
okay, Councilman Rivera.
maybe she wants to run maybe she could address all of our concerns
Okay,
at
go
one
ahead.
time.
Councilman
It's a
Rivera.
suggestion, that way she don't have to come back. So, entity created by the council. They are a separate entity. If the buildings is under their name is their building. It's a separate entity created by us. If we don't agree with the services that they're providing to the community, which I don't, I haven't agreed for a while. I bring this up all the time. And I think there's a lot of disrespect from them. Instead of communicating with us, they take this route. I think it's very insulting. Now, I walked by the BA to ask the question. When a contract ends normally and you continue to utilize the services, although we don't have a contract in place, we still have an obligation to pay them because we continue under the premise of the old lease. So that money is due to them. Although we created the entity, they are a separate entity right now. If we want those properties back to be owned by the city, then the other option is to dissolve them with 6 votes from the council, which that's going to be very hard to do because there's going to be a lot of lobbying, a lot of friends of friends working those entities, and it's never going to happen. So if you want to do the right thing and you have so many concerns about this authority, then what we could do it as a council.
Okay.
But I suggest as a finance chair that we continue until this council decides to approve, because they do have a budget to support themselves. Just like we have a budget, they have a budget. Not defending them, but it's the right thing to do. We go to court, they're going to win. And it's not going to look bad publicly. I recommend, my recommendation, bring it to finance, but I think the route to go is to pay them under the old premise of the old lease that we have.
Okay, so you are the finance chair, right? there's various council members here who would like for this to be removed, and I believe that there's quite a few of us who are more in favor of removing this item. So, Madam Clerk, I'm going to remove this item. Madam BA,
Council President,
I'm
I have a
s-
question for Madam Mayor.
okay, Councilman Jackson.
Why
I mean,
have-
Councilman Kalik.
Why haven't they gotten paid? The Housing Authority.
Councilman, they haven't gotten paid because we haven't approved the new lease agreement with them in order to pay them. But they have, as you can see attached in your DocuWare, we have all the invoices for these back months, and it does detail it. It's not something that they're charging us just for usage. They're charging us for what we are using. They're paying the utilities on the property. They're providing maintenance staff. They're providing janitorial services for our program. So this is really what was the lease agreement is for, is really to cover the costs that we are incurring as a city by having our program there. So that's, if we're able to, while the director is looking to utilize different space within other city buildings, it would make sense for us to make the housing authority whole for the costs that they have already laid out and which we have already budgeted for as part of our program. And then we'll really try to move this program into some other city facilities.
So as an administration, have you tried to talk to them or have a meeting with them, come to a compromise and
We have,
get this resolved?
I think that this is the result because it is something that I know at other times there might have been other costs. These are truly just the costs that they are putting out of their pocket for our programming. And it also, they're not able to make any other money for renting out the space while our program is there. So that's something that while they might have been thinking about that at one point, this is really just true cost based on our usage.
Okay, so I have one last question, just a thought that just came to my mind. So we have been at this now, the pandemic, since March of 2020, correct? So they've been charging us, because obviously the program has not, have they continued doing the
Yes.
program? So they were
Yes.
still attending the?
Correct, yes, this program has continued in part because it's court ordered.
Okay. So council members, after hearing Madam BA, you still want to remove item number 7?
Madam President.
Councilman Mendes.
I'm in total, I'm definitely in some part, I agree with Councilman Rivera that when you finish a contract or a lease agreement, you pass by being a month-to-month tenant on that facility under the old contract. But I understand that even though we know that we have to pay that, there's got to be a conversation with the housing authority, and the only way that we're gonna have that's gonna happen is to push this and bring that over here and have a serious matter, because those are our children in the city of Paterson, and
So-
that entity is right here in the city of Paterson, and we all have a responsibility to serve our community.
So with that said, Councilman Mendez,
So my recommendation is
Council
to
President.
remove that item
1 second.
and bring that conversation back, and because the way I feel is that the housing authority, they just don't care, they don't listen to us.
Okay,
Well,
so 1 second. So Councilman Mendez, to what you're saying, right? It's my understanding that the chair of statutory agencies called the meeting and the director did not show, okay, to discuss, yeah. So, and I'm only saying that because he's watching the meeting and he's sending me a message letting me know we tried to have a meeting and the director did not show. And so his take is, as the chair of the committee, to remove it from the agenda, okay? And bring it and have the discussion.
Who's the chair?
And if I could just add one more thing, Council President, and to the councilman's point, I know the previous Director of Health and Human Services has had numerous conversations with the director, while it might not have been a recent conversation in committee.
Okay.
But similar to what you're saying, Councilman Mendez, we pay PSE&G bills for our own city buildings when we run programs. Each budget contains a portion that we pay our electric, our gas, we pay our DPW workers for maintenance. So in our mind, this is really, just like we're budgeting these costs, it's really for the kids and it's for the program. We don't want to separate this out and have it be seen as, well, the housing authority is charging us money. It's really just to run the program, and it's the cost associated with that.
Okay,
Ma-
Just
Madam-
like we would do
Okay,
it in a
we're not
city
gonna go back
building,
and
we
forth,
would pay
Council
those
President.
same costs.
we're not gonna have a back and forth. Okay, thank you. Councilman Abdelaziz, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna go ahead as the Chair of Health and Human Services. We did have an explanation from our director, who said that you brought this to committee, correct?
Yes, we did bring this to committee, Council President, and as Councilwoman Khan stated, this has been in front of us multiple times, right? I don't think the debate should be what the Housing Authority should do, what's right. At the end of the day, we don't own the building. We don't own the building. The building belongs to the Housing Authority. That's an autonomous board. This is a tenant-landlord dispute. The Housing Authority wants their bill. They want us to pay the bill. If this council wants to terminate the lease, terminate it, and then they're going to evict our program. That's where we're at right now. We got notice that they want their money. Now, what we should do, that's always the Monday morning quarterback. We should have had this shared service agreement. I want to tell this council, we're blaming the Housing Authority. This council approves improves the commissioners on the Housing Authority. So I'd have not, my appointee was appointed by the mayor. Reach out to the commissioners. It's the same board. It's a board that controls the Housing Authority. This council appoints those commissioners. So we talk about the Housing Authority, we have a bill in front of us. They could take us to court. We could spend money defending it. And at the end of the day, I'm not a lawyer, but if there's a lease agreement, we owe them money. This is not a lease agreement that's never happened before. We've had this lease agreement years on end.
Right.
If you guys want to terminate it, then terminate it. But what we have here is a bill in front of us. It should go to a vote, Council President, because I want to do the fiscally responsible thing and not have legal costs. And if it votes up or votes down, this has been on for 2 years.
Okay.
We expect people to pay their taxes on time. People expect us to pay on time.
Okay.
So
Thank you very much. I'm not going to further this discussion, all right? It is for first reading. You voted up or you voted down. I'm going to actually leave it on the agenda. Thank you very much, Director.
Council President?
Director, actually, Councilman Jackson, I am not.
Just one last remark, if I may, please.
Yes.
So it's very disheartening. This council has to become the stewards. It has to grow a backbone when it comes to defending the rights of the public. Saying that we don't own this property is like a parent saying they don't own their child's bedroom. If your child, yes, it is their bedroom, but ultimately, we own the housing authority. It is our property. They did not make an acquisition. Show me the check for acquisition. They did not purchase this property from the city. The authority to run it was handed over to the housing authority. They came to us. If we weren't the owners, we would not be appointing board members.
Okay.
So with that being said, Council President, it's very disappointing that our children, now, I'll make this last point. During times of emergency, DPW renders all the janitorial services for those facilities. Where's the bill for that? Where's the bill for that? Have they paid us for the services that we continue to render? They do not. And this is where this council continues to curtail to these authorities and allow them to run the city in the hole.
Okay.
What the housing authority is doing right now to this community is a shame, and this council is happening right under the nose of this council, and we're not standing up for it. This is terrible.
Thank you very much, Councilman Jackson. Director?
Yes.
I think this council would like for you to start looking at whatever that Plan B is and removing and finding a place. If the housing authority is not going to be, I guess I'm going to say friendly, to say a nice word, and we can't work together, then we need to start finding other ways, all right? But I am in agreement that this item can go on. You either vote it up or you vote it down, point blank. But there is a bill to be paid. And this is actually something that we've been discussing this for quite some time, and I know that the pandemic really is where we were all meeting remotely, and there was a lot of other stuff going on, and here now it is almost 2 years later. So we'll leave it on, okay, Director, but while you're standing there,
Yes.
Councilman Abdelaziz, Okay, moving forward, I think 29, 30, and 31, can you please, just, all of them consent? Okay, these are authorizing an award contract, okay. So, Madam Clerk, 29, 30, and 31 will go on consent.
Yes, I have that.
Council President,
you.
if I may, Chair of Health and Human Services.
Yes, Councilwoman Cotton.
29, is that, when it says Quality Improvement Coordinator, where is he at?
You want me to answer that, Council President?
Yeah, can you answer it?
And the director, we met on committee, we discussed this, that these contracts are in line with the grant that was received due to the COVID.
Yes, this is a $4 million grant, health literacy grant, and it's mostly for COVID.
And this is something that's needed part of the grant for
Okay.
that part.
It's mandated in the grant
grant.
that we contract these services.
Okay, thank you very much. It'll go on consent. Council members, item 13 is being removed. Okay? Number 14, actually, we're gonna do finance. Councilman Rivera. 25 will go on consent. 26 will go on regular, and 27 will go on consent. 28 will go on consent as well.
You say 27 consent?
Yes. And 28. Okay.
Council President, number 27, that's electronic tax sale, that's the tax lien sale?
No. That's not, is that the tax lien sale? It is?
2020.
Do we usually?
You don't want
get-
that on consent, you want that on regular?
No, I have questions, I don't mind
Okay,
it
go
being on
ahead.
consent. Don't we usually get the properties that are on the tax, this is preparing for when the, after 26th?
Preparing for it, so you'll get it for the 20.
For next meeting, we'll get the properties?
We actually discussed that today in finance, and the chair said to make sure to send it to everyone.
And just, Mr. CFO, when are the tax bills due? Because I know
August 1st.
I got a lot of calls today
They're
that
not
they
out
received it in the mail, but when are
September
they?
29th.
When
September
is it?
29th.
September
What
29th.
date is it again?
September 29th.
Okay.
That's when the tax bills are due?
And when do you run your report for a tax lien sale?
She started running it now.
Good.
Started running it already.
Council President, this is actually, if I can answer it, this is for 2020's tax liens,
Oh, okay.
not for
All
this,
right.
these.
So this is for people that didn't pay last year?
Correct.
Okay, I just, because I want to, today, many people received their tax bill.
Today?
And I know for a fact, I got many calls about it, and it's due the 29th. So that's 13 days. It should be, I know there's online, but that's a little, by the time they mail it out, by the time it gets here. So I don't want to make sure there's no penalties for people that post-date it and send it back in the mail. A lot of my constituents, they don't do it on the internet, they mail it, and then they wait for the city to deposit
Council
it.
President?
Okay. Councilman Rivera?
Number 26. I don't recall seeing that fee in the past.
That's to charge the person that owes instead of the city picking up the fee.
Could you repeat that again?
That's to charge the person that's going on the lien sale and not for the city to pick up the fee.
So how it was done in the past?
The city was picking up the fee.
How much does the city usually have to put up?
Usually the tax sale goes for about 113,000.
A whole tax sale?
Yeah. And that was when we had more property.
So council members, see, an item like this need to be discussed, if that's what we want to do, because that's not what we were doing before. So that means that everyone that goes on the list, they're going to be charged the $25. They're also going to be charged the interest. I know it could be up to 18%, depending on if you exceed a certain amount. Wasn't it part of doing business that we were picking up that cost? It was part of our budget. So my question is, do you guys have this discussion when I was on vacation?
This question, actually, this went to finance.
Today?
No. This one?
When did it go?
Today.
I believe this, didn't we have our last finance meeting?
No, this one.
No, it went in
Finance committee
today.
today.
Okay, so Councilman, how would you like to proceed with this?
Well, it's a discussion we need to have. You know, we're a body of 9.
Right.
I'm not, you know, it's something that we need to think about. We never, you know, charge this property is $25. I want to know, you know, what has changed from the previous years.
Council President?
No, hold up, he asked a question, so who's gonna address the question? What has?
Like, I want to know what was the process of determining that you were going to bring up to this council? It does sound right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just want to know why now and never before.
If you ask me, it should have always been done that way. It's part of the law. There's no reason why taxpayers that are not delinquent should pick up the fee of delinquent taxpayers.
Council President?
Hold on, who said council?
No, the council, Council
Councilman-
President, I think Councilman Rivera, this is,
Councilman Abdulaziz.
Councilman Rivera, this is a great discussion, and I actually agree with the administration, right? In life, sometimes the people that do the right thing get penalized. So people that pay taxes on time, right? They pay their taxes. Now, I just heard that we pay $113,000 in our municipal budget that should be offset with the people that are late. Why is the person that's paying on time gonna pick up that tab in the general fund? So in life, I see that, right? You work somewhere, you do the right thing, they give you more work. Here, the taxpayer pays the bill on time. I think the $25, if you're late, right, you should pick up the cost, not the people that are paying on time.
Okay,
so
so-
that's my thing, and it's a great.
So is that okay to put it on regular, or do you
Council
wanna put that
President,
in consent?
I'll tell you my reasoning for bringing this up. So
Councilman-
my experience in the last 3 years is that under this administration, we have seen a lot of ways that they have tried to increase fees. And that's why anything that I want to implement that's new, I want to have a discussion, be it, you know, good or bad.
Okay,
That explanation needs to be given. We didn't have a discussion in the finance committee on this. We're not sure, that's why I asked the question. Recently, we had some fees that we said, no, we're not gonna do that. They wanted to double connection fees, for example, on new development or new homeowners that were gonna build a home. They have implemented a lot of new fees, and I just wanna make sure that we have a discussion since we didn't have it in finance. So,
so,
we could
okay
proceed,
for
yeah, we could
regular or
proceed.
consent?
Council President?
Put it on regular.
Okay, so Madam Clerk, 26 will go on regular, okay? Councilman
Yes, I have
Jackson?
that.
Very quickly, I think I totally agree with Councilman Rivera, but the issue is this conversation taking place in finance does not preclude or permit the residents to be privy to this conversation. If they're the ones who are going to be taking on and bearing the burden of the cost, this council has acted before where it has cost the residents greatly. We saw the increase in fees when it came to the sewer utility. So we're gonna have that discussion. I'm in full agreement, but the full council needs to be involved in that discussion. We need to have it here on the floor. That way we don't prolong our voting session, but that conversation needs to happen here. So
Now. Here and now.
we can have it now, or we can, you know.
Council President.
Councilman Rivera?
Also, the $25 fee, is that the actual cost to the city? Or that's what's allowed by the law?
That's what's allowed by the law.
And that's another point that I'm trying to make. Just because the law allows you, right? We're not here to make money off the back of the residents, right? Some
only done that.
of us might run through tough times. Let's try to charge them what we actually cost us. Just because the law says that we could charge up to 25, doesn't mean that we're going to charge the 25 if it only costs us $15. Let's be fair now, because the $113,000, yes, it was put on everyone's back, but let's not try to make a profit at a. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. That's part of the administration fee to run the tax.
That's the actual, that's
that's the
25?
actual fee.
Okay.
So how many properties you have in total in the list?
2,408.
Hold on a minute.
408,
2,408.
25.
That's $60,000. And you said the law only allows the max of $60,000. I mean, 25,000, 25.
25 is the cost.
So this is what I'm going to suggest. If you're going to supplant, and I hope my council colleagues follow along, if you're going to supplant the 120,000 that you already billed all the taxpayers of the city for the tax sale, I need you to make a cut somewhere in that levy to reflect that, because you're not going to build the 120,000 and then collect another 60. That's what I don't like.
No, so last year we had, or the year before, we had accelerated tax sale. So we had more properties. So the fee would have been 120,000.
Understood, but what I'm saying is, in the past, we never used to charge for it, right? It's the principle. It's not a lot of money when you have a $300 million, but it's the principle of it, right?
No, we used to charge for it, and everybody picked it up. Now we're just charging the delinquent parties.
How did you charge everyone in the past?
We took it off the sale.
You took it off the sale?
Yeah, the sale proceeds.
Okay, so it's the same concept. You took it off the tax levy that we were supposed to collect, because we make interest also, right? So we're going to collect our taxes that we budgeted for, and we're also going to make money off the interest. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just a conversation we're having, so.
Okay, thank you very
Just
much.
don't like the
Good
idea.
conversation, 26 will stay on, all right, let's go back.
Regular, please, Council President?
Yes, I put it on
Yeah.
regular. It'll go on regular. 21 will go on consent. 20 will go on consent. 19 will go on regular. 18 consent. We have 14 is a resolution authorizing a schedule for the sale of abandoned cars and holes. I would put that in consent. 15. This is authorizing an award of contract through co-op. Finance Chair, 15.
Council President?
Regular or consent? I
Council
mean,
President?
Anytime, yes, Councilman Abdelaziz.
Number 14, you put on consent. It looks like the schedule for this, the first sale already went on, oh, that's tomorrow. No.
No,
it went,
first
what am I
sale
saying,
was in
tomorrow?
August.
August 17th, so you guys had a sale already? Without authorization?
Well, that was the, we did have this on the agenda for July. If Harry wants to,
That's Harry.
purchasing agent want to come up. I don't know if the vendor, if the sale actually did happen or not.
Good afternoon, council members, council president, to the chair.
Thank you. If you can just quickly use, Councilman Abdelaziz asked a question pertaining to the date.
Yes, those are the schedules that we have to put in order for us to publish a list in the newspaper, all the cars that are going to be auctioned. And I believe you have 2 or 3 different days there,
Yes.
because that way the remainder of the existing contract that we have. And the reason, I remember that almost a month, there were no meetings, but I don't know, I don't have a copy here, but my signature next to my initials, what day was assigned? 7, right on top,
29th, yeah. of
July 29th?
July, yeah,
Yes,
27.
yes, 27.
All right, thank you, Council President.
Are you okay with it being on consent?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. 15, I said would go on,
That could go on consent.
council members, you okay with going on consent?
Yes.
Okay, 15, Madam Clerk, consent.
Yes.
16. Hold on.
Consent.
Oh, yes, this is the C-Click Fix Request Management System.
Consent.
And mobile app, okay. Madam Clerk, 16 will go on consent,
Yes.
and 17.
Put it, put it
What
on
number,
regular.
17?
17 could go on consent as well. This is a New Jersey State contract. Okay. Okay, that leaves us, 21 will go on consent. I believe I said that. You okay, right, Councilman Rivera?
Thank you.
For 21 to go on consent? Reappointing your constable?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chair, 22, 23, and 24.
Madam President, on economic development, we have 3 items on the agenda. But now, I just need to say this. On the economic development, I'm the chair, and we got the VP, Councilman Shaheen, Councilman Rivera, and Councilwoman Ruby Cotton as part of the Economic Development Committee. We have not met. I just find out about those 3 items today. I haven't go over to the entire body of the resolution, and I recommend this to take it out of the item and bring it back next week. I'm available. And Director, I really want to see the Economic Development Committee meeting and functioning and having those extensive discussion to make sure that we get full knowledge about what we're voting for, what we're approving for. So that's my recommendation.
Okay, Madam Clerk, 22, 23, and 24 is going to be removed. It's going to go back to the Economic Development Committee.
And finance.
Sorry?
And it needs to go to finance after
And
economic
it will
development.
also go to finance, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving forward, we are now in item 32 and 33, and seeing that our police director, neither our, this stuff did go through committee, but they're not here, and seeing that our DPW director is not here neither. Council members, 32 and 33 are police. Number 32 will go on consent. Resolution authorizing the application to the New Jersey Division of Criminal Justice State Body Armor Replacement Fund. So that'll go on consent. 33, this is a resolution authorizing the City of Paterson to enter into the County of Bergen, New Jersey
Consent.
Co-op. That can go on consent as well. Our DPW chair isn't here, but I
Yeah,
know
and-
he's watching and he has his agenda in front of him.
Yeah, and Council President, I could answer any questions about this. I know our director had to deal with some family issues, so.
Okay. No, I just, putting it on record, no one has, informed me, so I don't.
Sure.
Normally, when we have items and it's a workshop, every division has their rep here, so that way they can answer any questions as a body, although these items do go through a committee first, but then the entire council needs to hear what was spoken in committee. So we are down to our last 5, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38. Okay, 34 can go on consent. This is authorizing an application to go to the Department to NJ
Council President?
DEP. Yes, Councilman?
Madam BA, I have no issue with 34. If we do purchase electronic vehicles as they want us here, are our DPW members able to maintain it? Do we have electric charger stations? What's the plan?
Yes, and Council President and
Madam BA.
to your question, that we are establishing a kind of a full work plan for electric vehicles for an electric fleet, and that's going to be in multiple departments, not just DPW. This in particular, they're working, I know the DPW director has been working hand in hand with Chief McDermott, who is leading a lot of the work of the fleet maintenance for the other departments as well. So yes,
Okay.
charging stations will be part of
I-
our
Thank you.
plan.
I just want to make sure that, we get excited, we get a grant, we buy this, we take a nice picture, and then when it's out of charge, they're going to say, where's the charging station?
No.
So please, in
Thank you very
Paterson,
much.
that happens.
Council President?
Thank you very much, Councilman Abdelaziz. So, Madam Clerk, 34 is going to go on consent.
Yes,
Councilman Jackson?
I have that.
So, Council President, if I may,
Yes.
request this item to go on regular if we're going to cast a vote, because, I can't help but to acknowledge the fact that we spent several $1 million on demolition equipment to take down various derelict sites, and they have yet to be utilized.
Okay.
And we cannot continue to spend taxpayers' dollars, whether it's through a grant or not, and irresponsibly utilize it. So,
Okay.
we should have a full discussion on the plan of all of the maintenance costs and and associated with these purchases,
So Councilman Jackson, since you want it on regular,
Correct.
consent, everyone has to agree. So it's obvious, Madam Clerk, that item 34 will go, this is 34, correct? Yes, we'll go on regular. Okay. Okay, Madam BA, 35.
Yep, for 35, it's a change order, but unlike most change orders that come across this body, this is actually for a decrease. This was for a project that came in under budget because of a not utilization of the full budget for off-duty police. So it's about $35,000 less than what the original contract was.
Okay, very good. 35 will go on consent. 36, Madam BA?
This is for our bathrooms throughout the city. It's just a renewal of a contract that we have done, many years. This is mostly for park facilities and the like.
Okay, Councilwoman Cotton?
These are for the portable johns, right?
Yep.
I think the community out there needs to know when you pick these johns, portable johns up and when you bring them back, because my understanding is that the month of October, you go around picking them all up from the parks, and then you bring them back, I believe, in April.
I would have to get the details on that exact piece.
Right, because but now we're not going with John Portable, we're going with, last year we did not use the same Porter John company, we used a different one.
So this is...
Are we going back to the old one?
This is Russell Reed doing business as John Portable. I think there are kind of multiple entities that are sort of under the same ownership that we have used other ones in the past, yes. But this one, but it looks like this one is actually renewing the final year on the bid. But if Harry wants to correct me or make sure that we have the correct information.
Council President?
Yeah,
Councilman Cotton? Yes, you're correct. Before, actually, they merged. All the big companies used to provide the service, they have merged. So you're familiar with the number, the name from before, but now they actually the same company and a different name.
Oh, it's the same company
Yeah.
with a different
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Just for Madam BA, when you come back next week, just make sure you let the public know when they pick them up from the parks and when they bring them back from the parks.
I have to look that into the contract, what exactly how it's spelled out.
They pick 'em
You
up.
say they pick it up in April?
No, they may bring them back in April, but they
Okay.
pick them up in October. But sometimes it's still nice out there till November.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So, Madam Clerk, we said 35 consent.
30.
36 is going to go on consent,
36 consent.
okay?
Yes, I have.
37 will go on consent as well. And 38,
I have a question. on
Madam
38.
BA, and... You
I have a
wanna-
question.
For 38?
Yeah.
Okay, Councilman Rivera.
So this is a regular maintenance contract, right, for the elevators?
Correct.
So CFO, what account is that you're using? Is that this year's account or next year?
Both.
Was that?
Both. I think it's 3 months this year and the rest of it next year.
Okay. When are we going to address the issues with the elevators? Since I've been a councilman, and it's not as long as Councilwoman Cotton, but the years that I've been here, it's an issue with the elevators all the time.
Yep.
What are we doing? And it's not just in this building, and I hear comments about other buildings. What are we paying them for?
I do know that there are some challenges in a lot of the historic parts of the building. So for example, City Hall, it's not as easy to make some of the repairs for the elevators because of some, challenge. The facilities director would have to provide some more details on that. But yes, this is, maintenance, repairs, inspection services of the elevators.
And the reason for the question is, I know our buildings are not the best kept buildings. We have a lot of older structural issues within the city. But let's stop throwing money in that area and let's just get them fixed. Because every year we throw money and they still have the same issue. Let's just address the issue.
So, Councilman Rivera, I'm going to go ahead and put 38 on regular. because there's still some questions. Hopefully, the director will be here at the next meeting, and he can address those questions, unless you want to reach out prior to next week's meeting. Councilman Jackson? So Madam Clerk, 38 is going on regular. Before, Councilman Jackson, before you speak, and Councilwoman Cotton, I want everyone to know, we have an 8 o'clock special meeting, okay? So we're going to go into, then we're going into executive, correct? Then we're going into executive. So I would like to have the public portion now, so if you can be brief, so that way I can open up the public portion. We'll then go into 8 o'clock. If you want to stick around, then you're able to, but just know that we do have to, so I want, Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have?
4 speakers.
4?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very well. So with that said, Councilman Jackson and then Councilwoman Cotton.
So quickly, Council President, first and foremost on the item Councilman Rivera is talking about, we just had the controls, the entire elevator revamped, so the fact that it continues to break down, there needs to be a look at the contract that we have, because there should be some warranties that's put in place. Secondly, Council President, very quickly, 35 and 37, I would like to have those items put on regular, and we can revisit it again.
Okay.
I would like to have the VA explain that again. I thought she mentioned
Okay.
something with regard to the PD.
Okay.
Lastly, Council President.
Hold on, one second. So Madam BA, 35 and 37 will go not on consent, it'll go on regular, okay? Okay,
Lastly,
Councilman.
as I'm continuously advocating for our residents against our surrounding municipalities, I've talked to Councilman Kalik, and there are a number of members from a certain area in his ward where he and I have both been, discussing with them, and I did ask for IT to have a video while they're speaking so you can see what it is that they're talking about. If you don't mind, if you'll permit it, I think it should.
Are you saying during the public portion?
During public portion.
During the public portion, okay.
While they're
I
speaking,
don't, we
the
can have
video
IT.
can be
You didn't say
displayed.
anything, so when they said, I didn't even know what was going on, okay?
That's why I didn't even bother.
Okay.
And figured to ask you now.
All right, so let IT know as they're speaking, I don't know how they're gonna do, I guess they could flip it, right, in terms of.
No, it'll just be on there when they're speaking, and they
Okay.
can talk over, so we can view it. And
No problem, I don't have a problem with that. Okay, great. So Councilwoman Cotton?
Say that I've been asking IT since we went back into regular meeting. There were people that were not going to come out because of COVID, and they still not going to come out. And I asked him probably 3 months ago why we can't get people to come in on Zoom. They can call from home, and then they can ask their questions. So
I don't
they
think,
could.
I don't think we're equipped for that.
No, we're not equipped for it. We're not equipped for it, so that's why we don't have it yet.
Okay.
But I did ask. But my next question, but it's been asked for 3 months ago to have people to be able to come in on Zoom because they're still not coming out. But
Okay.
for number 37, I just want to ask I know Councilman Jackson put it on, asked to be put on regular, but now, is this a CSO, is this part of that group that we're with, Newark and Jersey City? Let me just say to you out there, we have a combined sewer system. We have to separate it. I know it probably won't be in my lifetime, but it's going to have to get done. People have been kicking the can down the road, mayors after mayors after mayors. They never done nothing. We'll finally have to do something now. And I just want to know if this is part of the project where we're partnershiping with the city of Newark and the city of Jersey City to at least get started on it. And my understanding is that every time we do have to open up the road or fix a sewer line, when I spoke to the engineer, he said that what they do is when they do that, that's when they start to separate them. So we are starting to separate the combined system. So is this part of that, Madam BA?
Yes, Councilwoman, this is almost like a pre-step to that this is coming together so that when there are things that are going to incur costs for the whole group, that we're able to collectively go together and, to pay for things like environmental studies and to bid it out as a group. So one entity would not have to go out to bid and incur the costs and the other entities pay them.
Okay.
So it would be something that we would all contribute to and then share the costs
Okay.
of, yep.
All right. Thank you, Madam BA.
Sure.
Okay, Madam Clerk, at this time, we're going to open the public portion.
Yes, ma'am. The public portion is now open, and our first speaker is Terry Woodrow. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hello. My name is Terry Woodrow. I live at 1220 Hampton Lane, Islip, New Jersey. My zip code is 08830. I am a Regional Field Service Director for AFSCME Council 73, the Northern Division. We represent the following AFSCME members or locals. Local 430, Health Department. Local 2272, Blue Collar DPW. Local 2903, Paterson City Library. Local 3474, Blue Collar Supervisors. Local 3474A, White Collar Supervisors. Local 3724, White Collar Workers and Police and Fire Civilians. I'm standing here to address the Paterson City Council in reference to the issue of hazard pay / premium pay. For those AFSCME members that worked during the pandemic, many members were not afforded the ability to stay at home or work from home. They were in the forefront lines, putting themselves and their families at risk. Many members of their families became sick from the COVID-19 before and after the vaccine was available. Recycling had to be shut down and the entire department had to be quarantined for 2 weeks. That's how bad it got. The Parks, Streets and Roads Department, Sewer Department, Animal Control, Recycling Department, Facilities Department, Mechanic Department, Sweeper Division, Inspectors Division, Tax Office, Police and Fire Civilians, certain parts of City Hall, Library Maintenance Security and Librarians, health clinics, mobile health units, and the entire health department never closed. There was no out-and-out refusal of work. Employees came in and they did their jobs. Yet when our in-house attorney, Seth Gollin, wrote to Ms. Kathleen M. Long, the BA of the City of Paterson, on August 21st, 2021, to request a sit-down with the city to talk about these issues, she replied, "I understand the desire of all unions to meet to discuss premium pay, but there is no need to meet." Wow. She doesn't even know what the parameters are of what we're asking for, and although the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, which AFSCME vigorously campaigned for down in Washington, and of which the city of Paterson has already received $33 million in or around April 1st of this year, with a total allocation of $63.72 million, of which the second half should be given to the city next year. Ms. Long, in her response, says the city has until 2026 to use the monies. Are we supposed to wait till then to ask for premium hazard pay? And when the monies will be gone? Why isn't the city of Paterson taking a page out of the city of Trenton's book and paying city employees that put their lives and their families at risk? Are you trying to say that Trenton city employees are better than Paterson employees? Or are Paterson employees, i.e. residents, are not as good as Trenton residents / employees? Please, before the money disappears, sit down with us and discuss this issue. Let the employees / residents have a voice about the unprecedented pandemic of COVID-19 and the workers who keep the city open and clean before and during the pandemic. A packet, you want to hand those out, please? A packet has been passed out to you with the signatures of AFSCME members, which were collected over the last 2-3 days.
Okay.
Who agree or stated positions of premium pay, hazard pay. Okay. Thank you for your time and consideration with this matter, and hopefully the city of Paterson will change its stance on meeting with us about the issue.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Council President, I know you normally don't allow, but I think in this matter, when we're addressing so many city employees and residents, that we should allow the council to at least lend a word of clarity.
Yeah, I'm going to do there's 4 speakers, so now there's 3. Okay, we have an 8 o'clock, so as soon as the 4, I think the others are part of the same group, so that way the BA can address the 4.
I'm talking
That's
about
it?
I'm talking about the council.
Is it the group? Okay. Right, okay.
Me, but I'm going
Okay, so Madam Clerk, what's the second?
Yeah, the next person is Michael Jackson.
Okay, so
On the
you're
list.
seizing, okay.
So
Third, who's the
you're not
third
gonna
person?
speak? Okay, next person?
Yes,
Next person is Mr. Razak.
okay. So Councilman Jackson, after the second, then I'll
Okay.
have her address it, okay? So please don't leave
I'm
just
not
yet.
talking about the
Okay.
BA, I'm talking about the council. I wanted to address
Yes,
it.
and I
Mr.
will.
Razak, please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, everyone. Eva
evening.
Razak, 388 East 35th Street, first floor, Paterson, New Jersey. Hello, everyone. Mr. Mendez, I have a question for you, sir, so please don't leave. Thank you.
I never leave during public portion.
That's okay, my love. I would like to know any update of any information, and also for Miss Kathleen Long to give me any update or any information on what's going to happen, because I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, if this action is not taken in this block soon, when somebody passes away, I don't want to hear somebody say sorry. Because the residents here nowadays, I was told that the speed bump is worth, I think the cost is $5,000 that's what I was told. But I gotta say something, the residents of Paterson don't have a price. They're priceless. So $5,000 with the money that's coming into the city, let's make it happen. This is an ongoing situation on this block. And I'm telling you, people, and I have to say this because I'm not scared. If it's my day to go, it's my day to go. Residents in that area, they're seniors, they're older, and they're scared. They're scared. You don't understand. So I'm going to be coming here and being vocal for them because I live there. And there's a lot of kids and there's a lot of residents there that are disabled, and they need this. Either a sign, one of those signs that are saying the speeding that you're going through. Like, come on, it's a small block. Also, I just had a petition, which I'm going to go around to the residents and have them sign it, which I verbally expressed to them. And they say, yeah, but I need help from you guys that are sitting there and monies that are coming into the city left and right. Like, okay, where's the money going to? Where is it going to? It's not going to the residents because I can see that they're having a hard time. And I don't come here to ask for Eva Razak for anything because I know my answer from some people. But guess what? I'm here defending others who their voices are not being heard. And I don't want to be disrespectful, but every time that the gentleman gets off, they pick him up and they drop him off, I'm nerve-wracking. I'm looking. I'm like, okay. And it's crazy, Mr. Mendez, because the days that they do the street cleaning, once again, if that wasn't taking place, like, you know, you have to move the cars on the opposite side. I kid you not, the cars that are coming through Reeling Ave, if that side wouldn't have been street cleaning that day, they would have been killing this person coming in and out of the van. Guys, we can't come here all the time and just blow it out and leave it to deaf ears. Actions needs to be taken. I don't mean to be rude. And you guys haven't seen me for a long, long time because I kind of stood out of the politics because I get myself in trouble. But guess what? I'm alive. My residents are alive and they need help. And you guys are sitting there and you guys are our war leaders. Who else could we go to?
Thank you. Thank you. And you're,
I
yes.
need somebody to say something
No,
to me.
we're going to just the same way the other group
Oh,
was.
so that means y'all not telling me anything.
We will, once we close.
At the end of the
Absolutely.
public
Just
portion.
have a seat.
No, that's
We will
what I'm
address-
asking, Mama.
We will
Okay.
ask, we
I have
will,
information for you at the end of the public
yes,
portion.
we will address it. I didn't allow Councilman Jackson
No,
to
that's
address.
fine. I just
So
don't wanna
You can
go-
have a seat. We have one more speaker and then I'm going
No
to
problem.
have.
And also, I wanted to say thank you to the Jamaican community for being out on Reading Ave. I had a great time, and thank you so much. I really
Thank
mean
you.
it. We all got to stick together, guys. We all
Thank
need
you.
each other. Whoever says no, lies.
Thank you very
No
much.
problem. I'll sit. Thank you once again.
Madam Clerk, next speaker?
Yes, Madam President. Next speaker, Mr. David Sue. Please state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
I have some materials. Can they be circulated to the members?
You can give it to my assistant.
David Sue, 34 Van Houten Street, Paterson, New Jersey.
Welcome.
I'm here to talk about my concern that the city of Paterson is not adequately protecting its residents in a particular area at the top of Berkshire and Linwood Avenue. On 555 Preakness, Totowa, city adjacent, approved a large catering hall restaurant. The building itself is over 70 feet tall, but with the elevation, it towers more than 100 feet over the neighborhood. There's some question as to whether or not the public notice initially given was adequate or proper, and certainly the city of Paterson took no steps or measures to advocate or provide any concern for the residents in this matter. Consequently, we see two problems. One, most recently, the developer has done a lot of work on the site, and you'll see a letter in your packet from the construction official in Totowa saying that much of that work, which I understand is earthwork, was done without permit and on property that he did not own at the time. The consequence is what you see here. After decades and decades of residents living in the neighborhood, they have this flooding now. I'm sure there will be the normal ceremony of finger pointing in every possible direction, and I'll point out that fence right there, the developer told me he put that fence up on a city street. I don't know how he does that without approval to put up a fence on a Paterson street. But what I really want to bring it back to is this. The city of Paterson has not stepped up to take responsibility for protecting the residents in this neighborhood. And I can tell you right now, because one of my friends, Jim, lives on this block, he contacted me. And for more than a year, I've been following this problem. I've been doing research, helping them secure legal counsel, and they're now doing their own litigation out of their own pocket to protect their property values because they've heard from an appraiser that they could lose as much as 40% of the value of their homes. All right, so let's just roll those numbers out on a $100,000 investment, because it's usually $300,000 homes. At 5% interest over a 30-year term, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, you end up spending about $80,000 to service the debt on $100,000. So if they lost $100,000 or $120,000 in value, they'd also have all those payments, all the maintenance, all the taxes, all the trouble of caring for their homes and contributing to this community. And I've asked around, nobody has done anything. And I can tell you, having watched the last zoning board meeting, which the project was approved again, been back like 4 or 5 times. Okay. I'll summarize. Okay. The city of Totowa, their board of adjustment, their attorney came and said, I'd like to brief you. I'd like to send you a written brief and talk about what my clients are concerned about. They wouldn't let them do that. They said they would, and then they wouldn't. They just voted on it and approved it. So, take a look at that picture, because to me, and please excuse me, this is a gigantic FU finger sticking down on Paterson. They're dumping all this water. It's going to go into our streets. We have to pay the sewer bills. They don't pay anything. They're working without permits. I heard their DEP penalties have been imposed, and Paterson has done nothing. Mr. Durkin told me he's spoken twice to the city council via Zoom, and still, that was a year ago, nothing. So I'm trying to help them out. This is not my job. I think the $300 million+ budget that we have floating around here could do a little bit more for people who are paying, over the time they live here, millions and millions of dollars in property taxes. Okay. And I'd like you to step up and take responsibility.
Thank you.
I really would.
Thank you, Mr. Sue. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else, Madam Clerk?
There's no one else on the public portion.
Thank you. Motion to close the public portion. Moved by Councilwoman Cotton, second by Councilman Jackson. Roll call to close the public portion.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the public portion for the workshop session of September 7, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Council President, are we going to vote and then go back?
Yes, we're going to.
Okay.
The
I just wanna
BA
make
and the
sure.
council, you're going to be able to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
My vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. The public portion is now closed.
Thank you very much.
Council
Madam
President.
BA, hold on, I'm gonna allow Madam BA first, and then Councilman Jackson,
Madam President.
and then Councilman Mendez, and then Cotton.
Thank you, Council President. To go in order of our speakers, first for Ms. Woodrow and the group from AFSCME. One, as Ms. Woodrow did read from my email, I would like to read the portion that she left out, which was saying that the mayor and the council are considering it, but no decision has been made. And that is what I have been saying to all of the unions as they have come forward, and it is the conversation that we started to have, the administration and the council have had together. We understand the work of all the city employees throughout the pandemic, and that is exactly why we are considering that. But I think it's a little disingenuous to not have read that portion of my email while you read the other portions of my email. But I would like to also...
Madam BA, you
Sorry.
can't speak out in the audience, but Madam BA, you said that the mayor and the council, because
that we're considering that.
the council?
And that's, right, when we
No,
had our-
meaning, because we haven't, because we don't
Can you allow her to finish?
Okay,
Council
go ahead, go
President?
ahead.
In
I'm
the
sorry,
sense
my
of,
apologies.
in the sense of that we have started our conversations around the American Rescue Plan spending, and that is one of the items that was brought up in our conversations
Correct.
with the council.
Okay.
So that is, but that we would have to do a lot of work to create, kind of the parameters of what that could look like, who would be able to have it and who wouldn't. As I have also said to the unions in the past, and especially during the pandemic, I'm always happy to receive information, and if there, as you stated about, you'd like to give us more details about a plan, feel free to email me that plan and those details, and it'll be part of the conversation. We're also going to be having public forums about the American Rescue Plan, and we want to get input from the community as well as to how this money is being allocated before we make any decisions about what particular it's being allocated for. So I understand there's some concern about the speed at which we're moving, but what I had noted, not only did I say we have until 2026 to spend them, but I also noted, which wasn't read, the process of allocating these funds is going to be a long and thoughtful one, and we want to make sure we're being thoughtful about the use of all the money in all the potential categories of usage. Secondly, about the traffic information, the day after you were here, yes, when you were here last time, we proceeded to give that to our traffic engineer, and he is working on that as one of the requests, as the council make requests as well for signage improvements, road improvements as well. So that is on the list, and he will be addressing that. And that, I don't know if it has come up in the DPW committee yet, but it definitely will.
Okay, can't speak out. Okay,
And for the last issue, I can't address anything here tonight in relation to the zoning board or some of those approvals, but I can look into it if there's anything at this point that we need to make sure that we're following up on in terms of the current work. I understand a lot of that was related to the flood, which many neighborhoods in the city experienced, but in particular, that might be related to this construction. I could check in with, the construction official and some of those who would have some control over that project.
thank you.
On city property.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Council President. So first and foremost, Madam BA, which is just totally incredibly alarming, the fact that you would point out make an accusation of the young lady being disingenuous. I'm sorry, ma'am? Just want you to be in the room while the council has an opportunity to address the concerns of the employees. But Madam BA, for me, which is just alarmingly concerning is the fact that you would make such accusation of her being disingenuous towards an email that you totally have derailed or not taken responsibility for. The fact that you have pulled the council into this claim that we're looking to address these concerns, this council, including myself, I've sat right there in personnel committee meetings where we have demanded that there be parity and that employees who were on the front line had been paid at-risk pay, and you, Madam BA, not anyone else in the administration, you absolutely refused. Now, the fact that you would not even take a meeting from the portion of the public body of the administration that renders these services to the public, that's criminal. Your job is to make sure that you take the time to address the concerns and protect the city's best interests. Now that we have all of the lobbying agencies and the unions lining up with the possibility of presenting a lawsuit against the city, which would cost us additional money, let's not even think about the money, because money in this matter, in this case, is the least thing that we should be thinking about. There are people who put their families at risk. There are people who, when there was an unknown, they were on the front line. When members in your office was allowed to work remotely from home, there are members in this community who live in this community who were forced to come to work every day, and you sit here and so callously say to the woman she's being disingenuous when she makes the accusation that you have not taken the concerns of these employees seriously. This is a problem here. The position of BA is to address the concerns of all of the city's issues, whether it's employees, whether it's members of the public. If any member of the public has an issue with their tax bill and they request a meeting with you and you tell them no, that's your job, is to meet with the public. So for you to decline a meeting, I don't care if their claims or if their assertions were so far outlandish that there was nothing that could be met. The fact that you just chose not to meet with them says a lot. That says a lot. We are all here. We are all here. You may not have been elected, but you were put into a public position to represent the best interests of the public. And for you to refuse a meeting with them just sends a message to this entire public that, one, you don't care about their concerns, their families, but more importantly, you don't care about the financial wherewithal of the city, because when it backlashes on us and it causes a lawsuit, this council is the one that's going to have to vote in favor of a settlement. How many settlement arrangements do we have to have, council members, before we stop allowing this BA to run rogue in this city?
Council President, if I could.
Council President, I'm speaking. She
Councilman
had
Jackson?
her moment to speak, and I do not want to hear any more commentary from the BA unless she's looking to address the concerns of these employees.
So Councilman Jackson.
Council President, we have been given allocation from the state. We have been given millions of dollars, and you're talking about pennies. When we're sitting here and watching this administration give off six-figure salaries to people who don't live here, and these are the lowest paid employees in this community, and this is how she chooses to treat them, that right there is embarrassing. That's embarrassing. So,
Councilman Jackson.
Might I digress? Let me continue on. So
Councilman Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to need you
I'm going to continue. I'm going to move beyond that.
No, that's why, because I wanted you to complete, because I know that you also wanted to address the other.
Correct.
The other
Correct.
gentleman, but please understand, I said in the beginning that we have
I
a
understand.
special
So
meeting
I'll
that
be
we have
brief.
to go
So,
into.
relative
Please,
to that-
I'm sorry. To the audience, please understand, there is a process here. There's a special meeting that I have to call. We pay attorneys to come to these special meetings, and we have to go into an executive. So I'm not muzzling anyone. I just want to make them aware it's already past 8. So Councilman Jackson, if you can please wrap up.
I'll wrap very quickly. So it's obvious from the video, Council President, that this council, we need to make sure we have our city residents' best interests in mind. And if there's anyone in this entire community that is not willing to acknowledge the fact that the Planning and Zoning Department and both boards have been derelict in their responsibility in allowing for all of these new construction projects to go on the way they have, this city has been run rogue. And we have to make sure that these surrounding cities who, by the way, continue to border patrol and target our residents, are not doing the same to our constituents who spend a great deal of money on their homes, who move into a dead end for certain reasons because they relish the peace and quiet and tranquil environments that they have. For them to wake up to this Jurassic Park scene coming down their block is absolutely unacceptable. When is this administration is not going to rally for the residents, so when is this council going to coalesce, come together, and rally in support of our residents and take on our neighbors who don't want to take our residents' concerns seriously?
Thank you very much, Councilman Jackson. Thank you. Councilman Mendez, please be aware, Councilman.
Sure, thank you. I know we have a meeting at 8 o'clock, and I'll go straight to my 2 points that I have. But I just really want to start by saying that I take my hat off to a lot of the employees in our DPW department, many other departments. You guys work through this pandemic. You stay out there providing services, putting your family at risk. This administration should appreciate that. And they should be sitting with a long time ago. That meeting should take place long time ago. And it's my hope that the Madam BA and the administration take action immediately on that. Immediately. This city received millions of dollars because of COVID. And it's fair enough to compensate your job. You put your family at risk, it's a time for you to get compensated. A lot of us stay home having meeting through Zoom. You didn't have that privilege. You didn't stay home working through Zoom. You went out in the street. You put your family at risk. So now it's their responsibility to take action. And action speaks louder than words. You know, with that being said, Madam BA, this is a moral responsibility. Let me just go beyond. It's a moral responsibility. Millions of people die. It just, let's not even think about the money, the financial aspect. This is a moral responsibility. Any person that continues serving the community on their capacity out there in the street in the community with this pandemic where millions of people die and everybody stay home, and you guys went out there, continue doing the job, please. And as the Councilman Jackson mentioned before, there's so many lawsuits in the pipeline. Please, let's stop the bleeding for once and for all. Thank you. And just last but not least, Ms. Eva, from the first time we spoke, I took action. We spoke about the sign. I met with the traffic engineer, Mr. Hon Chow. We're working on a plan. The speed bump and the speed hump, we have to create an ordinance that I'm already working with him. We copy in Jersey City and Newark that they already have that established. After that, we're gonna sit down with finance to allocate the resources to make sure that we put a speed bump, not only in your area, but in many other areas. When I was elected in November, I put together an assessment about all the different locations where we need four-way stop sign, speed bump, a speed hump, and the traffic engineer, he have that list, he have that information, but we working with your block. So since the first time we spoke, I took action immediately. So you got my cell phone, I will stay in contact with you throughout the process. So on the next after the next DPW committee meeting, I will get back to you and inform you where we are with your block and the stop sign, the sign, and the speed pump and all of that, okay?
Thank you very much, Councilman Mendez.
Thank you.
Very much. I'm fully aware that you are correct. He took
Exactly.
action.
And Madam President, I know Keith Watson didn't have the opportunity to speak, but I know he came to thank all the council members that attend the renaming of a portion of Brilliant Avenue as a Jamaican Way. It was an amazing event. You was there. They're excited. It was a beautiful event, and
Yes.
and it was a great privilege for myself, Councilman Jackson, you, and everybody to attend. So thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Councilman Mendez. Councilwoman Cotton, please.
Okay, I'm gonna go very quickly. I just want to say to the first group of people about the union, you know, when we realized that we had the American Rescue money coming down, and I got to say, the mayor did reach out to every council person to ask us what we would like to see with that money. I met, and the first thing I said when I walked in the room was, we got to give money to the employees. That was the first thing I said. So it's in the plan. When it's coming, I don't know, but it's in the plan. I've been a union person for 22 years. I belong to IBEW 1158 for 22 years. So I knew that when I had the opportunity to meet with someone about this money, the first thing was to give the employees something out of that rescue. So that's gonna be in there. I don't know when it's coming, but it's gonna come. I always say, you know, sometimes it may not be tomorrow, but it's gonna come. And I know it's not fair that you have to wait, but it's gonna come. My next thing I wanted, when I said to them, we need a community center, we need a recreation center. That's part of the money. So the next thing that we need is there's so many things. I need to get, especially one of my main streets in the ward, River Street. That needs to get done.
Right.
There's so many things, but I just want you to know that I personally, that's the first thing when I went in that room, looking from Trenton, New Jersey, and what they did. If Trenton, New Jersey did it, then the city of Paterson can do it too. So I know, and I want you to know that I personally met, I went down there, we all had the chance to go meet, and I always say that I may not like you, but if I'm gonna get something done, I still gotta meet with you. I gotta meet with you, because I'm talking about for all of you out there, for all the city's employees, for everybody. You know, we gotta make it work. I just wanna say to Eva, he's been working on that speed bump. Everybody wants speed bumps, but we can only do it in certain areas.
Right.
And to David, Sue, I have no idea what that is. I don't know what area it is. You said Perkins Avenue,
Yeah.
but the top of it. But
So
at least you brought it to everybody's attention, and that's the most important thing. Is everybody now watching on TV land
Councilwoman.
sees it now. So I just want to say, everything that everyone talked about, union, the only problem with unions for me now is that I'm a councilwoman and they do not allow council members to sit in on the negotiating team. I wish I could, but they would not allow me to.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Cotton. And clearly, you know, my sentiment's the same. You know, as a council, you know, we don't sit down in negotiations. You know, that is the administration. But she is correct, and Jackson also said it. You know, this has been a discussion in Personnel Committee, and we've been on this in our meetings, and yes, that it is true. The administration did reach out to each council member to sit down and discuss the ARP money and, you know, what we wanted to see. Obviously, you got 9 people here, which some, you know, everyone is on the same page though when it comes to this hazard pay. So we're definitely on that. You know, in terms of, you know, boards and, you know, neighboring towns who approve certain projects, you know, clearly, you know, that is something, I mean, I don't have full knowledge of, so I can't really speak upon that. And to Ms. Eva Razak, you know, again, sometimes, you know, people come here and, you know, some know the process, some don't, but it becomes a back and forth, and there is no back and forth once, you know, the public portion has taken place, then the council addresses, the BA addresses, and so does this council. We're gonna finish off with Councilman Kalik.
Then Councilman Rivera as well.
Okay, so then I need to then do something. We need to close this public portion. Okay, I'm sorry.
Close the workshop.
Okay, go ahead, Councilman Kalik.
And I'll talk to the point.
Okay.
The issue with Borough of Totowa, with that construction, it came to my attention more than a year ago. I spoke to our economic development director as well, everybody else as well. What's going on up there is a travesty, and it happened on the storm. You've seen the video there already. And at this time, I don't think they have proper permit and either. And on this letter from Borough of Totowa, it said approvals are also required from City of Paterson. I haven't seen them come in front of the Board of Adjustment or of Planning Board, not even once. I didn't see any notice or anything. So at this time, I'd like to ask our law department to file an immediate injunction in our Superior Court and do a stop order until you look at all their paperwork. So it clearly states right here that approvals are also required from City of Paterson since work is proceeding with their jurisdiction. I haven't seen they come in front of any of our board.
And
So there is something is not right. Will you be able to do that on Corporation Council? I can hear you, sir.
Council President, may I?
Corporation Counsel.
Thank you. Yes, Councilman Kalik, I've made a note of the location and the project, and it'll be the first order of business that we look into it tomorrow.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Councilman Kalik. Councilman Rivera?
Yeah, I'm not gonna kick the horse. The only thing I could ask is an update on each matter. I know Councilman Mendez, you say you're working on the speeding situation. I'm glad, I applaud you for looking at those municipalities and try to basically replicate what they have, because enough is enough. You know, the things that go on in this city, we don't see in other cities. And that's what's disturbing. We always use an excuse of why things are happening, why we cannot address them. Well, other towns are addressing them. Why can't we? So I'm glad, we're taking action. All I could ask from the administration, I could speak on this matter myself. Just give us an update of what is your plan regarding the situation with the unions. What are you planning on doing? Because so far I haven't heard much. I just spoke to you right now when I walked by you. And Corporation Counsel, use your legal team to see what actions we could take against that property, because that would have never happened to our neighbors. If it was us doing that to them, forget it. They would have spent as much money as possible to go after us. So we need to address it, because this cannot happen again. If they need to put things in place in that building that would prevent this from happening again, we need to make sure that we spend the money that we need to spend to make sure that they do the right thing.
Thank you very much, Councilman Rivera. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to close the workshop.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Abdelaziz and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk, to close the workshop of Tuesday, September 7th.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the workshop session of September 7, 2021. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. To the residents of the 6th Ward, I know we got hit pretty hard with the tropical storm. I just want to remind all the residents, we have dumpsters located within the 6th Ward. I think we got 3 now. One in South Paterson on Getty Ave between Delaware and Michigan. One in front of the Boys and Girls Club, and then they just put one on 20th Ave between East 26th or East 27th Street. They're filling up. Anything that was damaged, please send them there. I've driven around the ward, and we're trying to help our residents recover. In the next couple of days, I will be sending out, in partnership with our council president and Councilman Rivera, our team will assist residents on how to fill out the FEMA application so they get the assistance that they need. We'll be hosting these sessions so we can get our residents back on the road to recovery. With that being said, Council President, my vote is yes. Thank you.
Councilwoman Cotton.
are we finished with the workshop?
So just so you know, we are doing the roll call to close, and we have to open the special meeting.
So why did he start talking?
Councilwoman, listen, I really want us, it's important. We have a lawyer that we're paying that's sitting right over there, so you guys want to keep talking, keep talking.
Every meeting, the rules be changing.
Worried about everybody else?
They're not, we're voting to close, but we're closing.
We're closing.
Well, I just want to say, since the councilman is sitting next to me, you know, for the Fourth Ward residents who experience some flooding, we have a dumpster in the Fourth Ward on East 16th Street by Putman's Over. So if you want to bring things there, you can, to put it in the dumpster. So there's one there also. I have some other items I need to talk about the bottled water, the boil water alert that's on now, but I would talk about that after the meeting, after our special meeting.
Thank you very
With
much.
that being said, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Jackson?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll just say this quickly. This council has a responsibility, it has authority to do certain things, and especially when it comes to being fiscally responsible and fiscally prudent, this council has the authority to move certain line items to make sure that certain things happen. If the council was to work collectively, these employees would not be sitting here begging for things that they're deserving of. So when it just bothers me, Council President, when certain council members are acting as if we're just waiting on the administration. The council has the ability to be fiscally responsible and do the right thing by the residents. Lastly, there are portions of the administration that do attempt to do certain things, and when you have tickets that are constantly being abated and certain businesses that continue to be rogue and operate without licenses and things of that nature in the city, it just shows that certain people have to follow rules and certain people don't. So while there's still a derelict sidewalk over there adjacent to the art factory, and we still have members of the community still at risk, these members on Berkshire Avenue should not have to come here and hear our silence. We should be not just speaking at this microphone, but taking action against the surrounding municipality. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just have a few announcements, but I will leave it by the end. But let me just give this information to the residents. Today, just driving around the third ward, visiting some of my constituents, a lot of them, they still don't have gas in their houses because PNC&G came in, just closed the line. In order for them to reopen the line, the owner of the property have to hire a contractor. That contractor have to go to 111 Broadway, pull out a permit to do an inspection on the house. Once the property is okay, they inform PNC&G to go back into the property to open the gas. That is a process. A lot of people, I find out today, I spent at least a couple of hours trying to get in touch with the PNC&G, some of the staff. They give me all the details, so I'm informing the community that if you don't have any gas on your property, reach out to me, 973-930-1436, but start, taking that route, getting a contract to make sure that a person pull out a permit and do an inspection on your property to make sure that you're safe and good to go. My vote is yes, Madam President.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. My vote is yes.
Thank you. The vote is 5 in favor, 4 absent. The workshop session of September 7, 2021 is hereby adjourned.
Thank you very much. So, council members, if I just want to quickly open this special meeting, so before you leave, Councilwoman, because I'm sorry? All right, if you want to take a 5-minute, fine. I mean,
Yes, that's fine.
okay, 5-minute, and we'll come right back and open the special. 5 minutes, okay?
One of the first applications I did on Paterson, so I was on the zoning board. It was with data, I busted him up so bad.
right, and you're gonna go there when he's making money, you're gonna tell the first house on the block, yeah, I need a parking lot. Just like the brownstone, you started taking it, and then your block is gonna be entry
Well,
point.
no, because the lot is in Paterson, Berkshire Avenue, you know, it's abandoned that part of the road. It has frontage on the lot, so if you have frontage on the lot, you have automatic access to the road. So they're gonna put that lot down there, which is gonna give them access to Paterson.
Unless we
Paterson denies it.
No, whatever, we can make that.
No, you can't. No, it's not through traffic, excuse me. They're the lot that they have that parking lot up, they rounded up all their.
I got a question here. Why can't we put a meeting here? Let's pursue it.
You know, I understand. Anyway, so what I'm trying to.
Sometimes you gotta do it, right?
I'd rather put curbs away so we'll leave it. Okay, so what do you see is piece of wall here? They installed this wall with a Paterson permit, but the wall is clearly to support this. This overlay, their earthworks was not there. They mounted it up there. So if the water burst over on the left, over here, they could put all that dirt there and displace the water. But this is a cheat. It's a cheat because they should have kept it for the variance for that wall.
You just got rocks right now. Wait till they have 1,000-person refuge in that place.
They're gonna be able to play out.
Rooftop parties. That's what your bigger problem's gonna be. That's what we're talking about. And then what's gonna happen? People are gonna sell. Right now, you're showing me this. But you're eroding. This guy is next to you. No, this is. They're gonna now they have access into it. That's then they're gonna buy a house across the street and little. That's more.
And towards our taxpayers, because people's value goes down, and then nobody wants to invest in
Still raise 4 blocks on that area.
Well, the thing that happens with Perry, this is why people really look to their government. The biggest one that you have, and Paterson are hardly going to move those. Every have things in their life, it's their retirement, why do you ever want to
They have no residence there. It doesn't connect to their town.
And that's, no, it's like a peninsula. Hold on, there's no housing zone.
There's a connection to Total, but Total will never put a road there. You see those mansions up top?
That's
No, that's Total on top of Gelato. That's Total. If you follow that road, if you go up Cumberland, don't end it up. There's woods. Those woods lead to Creek and South. Total will never make that a road. Because they will never make that connection to Creek and South. Those houses are built down homes. They don't want people to come. That's why Total.
No, I understand.
That's why Total goes through Chamberlain to get there.
Blocking my exit.
Come on.
Where's Councilman Kai? Listen, my father-in-law's having heart surgery tomorrow. All right? Am I gonna come say go spend time with him or spend time with you guys? I got my reasons for leaving.
But I said, we can be out
When
of
she
right
comes,
now.
I'm leaving.
Let's open this meeting. Let's open this, please.
Good evening. We have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Good evening. On behalf of the Paterson Municipal Council, I welcome you to the special meeting of the Municipal Council.
Council President, we'll have quorum.
Who left?
Who's Jackson?
Rivera just walked out.
Let me go again.
There is no 5. Oh, there is now. Okay, good evening. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Paterson Municipal Council, I welcome you to the special meeting of the Municipal Council. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call for Municipal Council special meeting September 7, 2021 at 8 p.m. Councilman Abdelaziz? Councilwoman Cotton? Councilman Jackson?
Here.
Councilman Kalik?
Here.
Councilman Mendez?
Present.
Councilman Mims? Councilman Rivera? Councilman Velez? Madam President?
Present.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, at this time, can you please read the special meeting notice?
Yes, Madam. Meeting covered by 48-hour notice. A notice of the time, date, location, and agenda of this meeting was transmitted to the North Jersey Herald News, The Record, The Arabic Voice, Italian Voice, Passaic County Pulse, Dominicana News, Biscuita International, El Especial, the Paterson Press, the City Post News, and Tap into Paterson, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices. At or about 11 a.m. on September 3, 2021, such notices were posted on the bulletin board in the offices of the city clerk at City Hall. I'll read the special meeting notice at this time. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, be advised that the Municipal Council of the City of Paterson has scheduled a special meeting for Tuesday, September 7, 2021 at 8 p.m. to be held in the Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, 3rd floor, City Hall, Paterson, New Jersey, for the purpose of discussing the following matters. Public portion. Resolutions. Item number 1, resolution authorizing an executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss resolution approving the memorandum of agreement between the City of Paterson and the United Service Workers Union, IUJAT Local 74 crossing guards for July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2024. Administration Resolution 21453. Formal action will be taken. Item number 2, resolution authorizing an executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss a resolution approving the memorandum of agreement between the City of Paterson and the International Union of Electronic, Electrical, Salaried, Machine, and Furniture Workers, Communication Workers of America, Local 463, Motor Pool, for July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2023. Administration Resolution 21454. Formal action will be taken. Executive sessions. Executive session for item number 1, executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss a resolution approving memorandum of agreement between the City of Paterson and the Union Service Workers Union, IUJAT Local 74 crossing guards for July 1, 2019 to June 30, 2024. No formal action will be taken. Executive session for item number 2, executive or closed session in or adjoining the City Council Chambers, 155 Market Street, to discuss resolution approving the memorandum of agreement between the City of Paterson and the International Union of Electronic, Electrical, Salaried, Machine, and Furniture Workers, Communications Workers of America, Local 463, Motor Pool, for July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2023. No formal action will be taken. Item number 3 for approval, resolution. Number 3, resolution approving the MOU agreement between the City of Paterson and the United Service Workers Union, IUJAT Local 74, crossing guard for July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2024. Administration Resolution 21455. Formal action will be taken. Item number 4 for approval, resolution approving the MOU between the City of Paterson and the International Union of Electronic, Electrical, Salaried, Machine, and Furniture Workers, Communication Workers of America, Local 463, Motor Pool, for July 1, 2019 to June 30, 2023. Administration Resolution 21456. Formal action will be taken. Madam President, at this time, would you like to take the public portion?
Yes.
Seeing none, move to close.
Second.
Seeing none, move to close by Councilman Abdelaziz and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Yes, Madam President. Roll call to close the public portion of the special meeting of September 7th. Councilman Abdelaziz.
Yes.
Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Khalid.
Yes.
Councilman Mendez.
Yes.
Councilman Rivera? Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 6 in favor, 3 absent. The public portion is now closed for the special meeting.
Okay, thank you. We now go into executive session, correct?
Yes, no, at this time, Madam President, I'll just read item 1 and 2 for executive sessions, and I get a roll call for that. Next items are items 1 and 2. I'll do both together for the roll call. Item number 1 reads, resolution authorizing municipal council executive or closed session in or adjoining the city council chambers to discuss MOU agreement between the City of Paterson and United Service Workers Union, IUJAT, Local 74 Crossing Guards for July 1, 2019 through June 30, 2024. Administration. That's item number 1. Item number 2 for executive session, resolution authorizing a municipal council executive or closed session in or adjoining the council chambers to discuss memorandum of agreement between the City of Paterson and the International Union of Electrical, Salaried, Machine Furniture Workers, Communication Workers of America, Local 463, Motor Pool for July 1, 2019 to June 30, 2023. Administration. May I have a motion to get into executive session for item 1 and 2?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Abdelaziz and second by Councilman Mendez. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Roll call the items number 1 and 2 for executive session. Councilman Abdelaziz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Yes.
Councilman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Madam President?
Yes.
The vote is 7 in favor, 2 absent. Items 1 and 2 is now open for executive session. And the one who's not affiliated with this matter may ask to leave the room at this time. Mr. Ming, you can take us off the air. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Melinda.
Corporation Counsel, please.
Can you wait 1 second, Madam President?
I'm sorry?
I have to give Mr. Ming some time to
Oh,
come
yeah,
down.
make sure that we're not being heard out there.
Right. The mics are turned off outside already, he
Okay.
said. I did speak to him.
Okay.
I'll just give council heads up. What we'll be talking about first is crossing out the Departmental agreement. The law department is getting a package for the council members. That will include a track changes document that shows all the changes that we made. The original and the new agreement, which were negotiated prior to the assistance.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Pierre from Genova Burns, Labor Council for the City of Paterson. As Eamon just mentioned, I'd like to start with crossing guards. So before you, you should have a cheat sheet that I prepared that will help us walk through the changes pretty quickly. You'll find that in the preamble in Article 1, there were no changes made. Article 2, we had to change it just to reflect the Janus decision. Article 3, there were no changes. Article 4, management rights, we revised that provision to reflect the WDEA, which stands for the Workplace Democracy Enhancement Act. The non-discrimination article of the contract was revised to expand the protected categories. You'll see that in the bottom, the categories that were crossed out were less expansive than the new categories that we have above there, and that's page 2 of the contract. There were no changes to Article 5.
1 second, I need to stop for a minute.
Sure.